What's up, crypto fam? Welcome back. We're coming to you live from the OpEI Quarantine Studio. I'm Matt.
I'm Jill.
Thank you for joining us today. We want to talk about de-globalization or localization of economies and kind of what that means, and give you a little bit of context for what's going on kind of on the global economic stage. And so what we're talking about is this My Nation First impulse. It's been making the rounds in political circles, but it's starting to trickle down to companies and more specifically their supply chains. With the pandemic going on, we've seen some massive disruption in international supply chains. A good example would be pharmaceuticals for the United States. A lot of them are produced in China. We weren't getting them, so we had shortages. That's basically what I'm talking about here.
Right.
And so, yeah, what does that mean?
So, a good example would be of how this self-sufficiency basically increases the marginal cost is my nail salon. So they've been using a powder that has been typically coming from China, but now they can no longer order it from China, so they have to order it from a local supplier. Well, as a result, their prices went up, which means that me as a consumer, I had to feel the inflation in real terms, not just in terms of the government printing money. So everything, all the prices just went up because of the production is being done locally now.
Right. Yeah. So companies are bringing the production home. It costs more to produce it at home, which makes it cost more when you go to purchase the end product. And so you're getting kind of this twofold situation going on where localization is happening, causing prices to come up, and the government...
Same time, the dollar is being devalued.
Right, because of the money printing machine and all the
Yeah.
trillions of dollars entering the circulating supply. So
Yeah.
it's a bit of a double whammy, but we're going to focus
Yeah.
more on the localization side of it and those
Right,
effects.
right. So even countries like Germany went full Keynesian in a desperate attempt to increase productivity and just basically cope with the demand of what this crisis brought about.
Okay. And when you say Keynesian, that's an economic school of thought, and it's basically the devaluation of the citizens' savings with the trade-off of like a temporary boost to the economy.
Correct, yes.
So government meddling.
Yeah, so basically it's a government intervention that basically means that, nothing has been produced because obviously we have been on lockdown. So the government created these stimulus programs both for companies and individuals, but this ultimately lowers the productivity and creates the zombification among the companies because their cost of servicing was higher than the actual productivity.
Okay. So that doesn't sound like a good situation.
No,
Am I right?
It's not. No.
What's the solution? I mean, what should governments really be doing? What would you like to see them do?
The solution is self-correcting this behavior and the actors that are unproductive.
Get them out.
Yeah. It's much like a forest fire.
Okay. Oh, all right. I got what you're saying. So, basically let the markets correct themselves. Don't interfere, governments. Stay out of our business. Let the bad actors and the zombie companies kind of just go away and fail. And then what you're left with is actually people that are producing, companies that are producing, and that's going to build a healthy basis for an
Right.
economy to recover from. And so, yeah, like the forest fire metaphor, like what you said, you need a lot of like kind of multiple small little fires to prevent the buildup of the fuel that creates that big, massive firestorm. So, if you live in California, I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But we just need to have some self-correction and not let this thing build up so we don't pay for it down the road.
Yeah, and we're seeing the dollar and the gold rally like two twinsies the past couple of weeks because people are preparing for this massive devaluation of the U.S. dollar.
So they're getting into gold and real assets.
Assets, yes. And we're going to see, because we are drowning in US denominated debt, both onshore here in the US, but overseas as well, we're going to have to see real-term inflation, which means increase of prices here in the US, but also overseas in terms of exchange rates because of the USD being the world reserve currency.
Right, and the fact that we're printing a bunch. So we're gonna, we'll be worth less globally, and it'll also cost more because we're producing locally. All right, well, buy Bitcoin.
Buy Bitcoin.
All right, well, I think that covered what we wanted to cover. So hopefully you learned a little bit more about what's going on, what's coming down the road.
And let's create the open economy we all deserve.
Yes.